Welcome back, guys. Today I'm going to be showing you the easiest way to make coins in EAFC. So if you're new around here and need a team like mine, minus the loan, you are in the right place. All you've got to do is subscribe. And of course, remember guys, we're giving away 9 sets of FIFA points to 9 lucky winners. All you've got to do is sub and send proof over on Instagram and you'll be entered into the giveaway. And as usual, if you want some coins in a quicker way, well, so if you guys are sick of losing at FIFA because your team isn't good enough or you're not good enough at the game, then right now you need to head over to skycoach.gg. Not only can they coach you in your weekend league or play your games for you, you can buy any amount of coins you want, and all of the services get 10% off right now with the code PRORECALL. Go check them out below. Make sure to click the link in the description and let's get into it. First of all, guys, of course, what you need to be doing is your preview packs. These are important, although you might not get massive stuff every time. As you can see, we've had a bit of a stinker in this one here. It's always worth checking it. Make sure you check every item in the pack because you will find them profitable sometimes. And if you can make 6k back, I would say it's worth buying just in case the next one is a profit one. Now, in honor of the Arsenal-Chelsea match today, we've got a gold rare England, Prem and Arsenal. Now, for this one, to get rid of Ramsdale, all you got to do is put the chemistry style on basic. So you can do this in 2 ways. You've got Rice and Saka, but the only thing about popping the chemistry style on basic there is that it comes off every time seemingly. It doesn't actually stay on for some reason when you back out of the search, and it does mean that there is no chance of you getting any cards that have chem styles on. So it kind of is it's a catch-22 whether you want to do it. As you can see, it comes off every single time, so it's a little bit more difficult. But if we take that off and just go for the filter as a base, of course, we've got Ramsdale at the bottom. We've got Rice there, who you have potential chances of getting a decent snipe on if he does come up. So you can see Ram is here at about 2,000 coins, and we pop this down to about 1.9. You got one there, so realistically 1.8 for the purchase. Sell them on for 2.1 or 2.2 and you're absolutely laughing. You just want to really sit out and you should be able to get a good snipe. Now, what I would say is if you head over on the web app, we've just got quite a good one there. If you head up over on the web app, I think you'd be able to search it with the basic, but because on console it resets every time, it's not worth doing it, so you can't section those off. Similarly, we're going to go over to Chelsea for midfielder and gold rare. This year they've only got Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez, which is kind of shocking. They had quite a big reduction in the amount of gold rares they have in the team, but I think that's just based off of a little bit of a sticky season or into the season last year. So we're looking at about 1.3 for the sell-on realistically. So EA tax is 65 coins. So here you're making 35, here you're making 135. So you're going to make a decent bit of coinage. If you knock it down to a K, you'll make an absolute ton. Obviously, Enzo Fernandez goes for a little bit more, but he's obviously not necessarily going to be coming up on snipes as often. So you just got to, how is it I always say stuff like that and then that player comes up? Of course he's going to come up when I'm saying he's not going to come up. Now, to push the budgets a little bit, first of all, we're going to go through some of my favorite filters in the game. Now, first of all, we've got a couple goalkeeper ones that are very easy to move in between. So goalkeeper, Premier League, minimum of 10 to 50, and you're going to be left with the likes of Edison and Allison, which right now is like the fodder filter of the century. So if we pop this over to 30k, you can see we've got both of them around that mark, so it's very easy to snipe them. Now, if we pop over, take off the Brazil, change the league over to League Earn, and we want to go for, we're not going to go for goalkeeper, but it is going to have a goalkeeper on the filter. We're going to go for Italy, we're going to go for PSG, and then gold rare. Now, I do believe they are the only two. I think it's Verratti and Donnarumma are the only gold rares from Italy there, so we should be pretty set up for a very easy filter. So let's have a look how much they're going for. Looking at around 12k for Verratti. That is pretty insane for an 86, but I suppose market is mud right now. He's not very usable. It does make sense. Now, the next move, if we're looking at centre mids, is to pop over to straight centre mid. And you want to go, you've got a couple options in La Liga. So first of all, La Liga Santander, centre mid, and we can go for, I think centre mid, gold rare and play styles is one that's actually quite good. Let's just have a look first of all. So you've got Cruz, Pedri, Parejo on that one, Modric. So that one's quite a nice little filter as a starter point. Of course, you can go for German, take off the play styles, and we'll just be looking at Cruz and Gundogan. So you've got a nice little option there of a couple decent filters you can toss between. Of course, if we take off the nation, we keep it at centre mid and we go over to Real Madrid, we're going to be looking at Cruz, Modric, Bellingham. I think it's just those three, and of course Valverde, but I think he comes up as a right wing if I am right. Of course, the other option to do this is midfielder, and you want to go for special, and Real Madrid, of course, what you're going to be left with is Bellingham's first card. We've got Valverde there as well. We've got Modric as well. You've also got Bellingham's second card, which you're absolutely not going to get on a snipe, but there is definitely a potential if we set this up for if you want to go on the much higher budget. If we set this up at a minimum of 800k, I think you've got Valverde there. It seems to be around that mark. Now you'd have to check the minimums of some of the other players or the maximums of some of the other players, but you could definitely set up a filter where you're looking at Bellingham and Valverde and just their better cards. So as you can see here, we could even do a bit of compare price. If we pop this over to, for example, I think 800k there, nothing there. 850, so we could do a bit of compare price here. We're only looking at Bellingham and Valverde. Obviously, you know that you've got a very big option for a lot of profit there, so that's something that we can consider as another potential one there. The other ones that I'm kind of fond of course, you've got the Premier League, Man City and Portugal. So that one was a much better filter before. Obviously, a little bit of a change to this filter. Obviously now it's just Bernardo Silva and of course Ruben Diaz, and obviously you want to take off Nunes there, so you just set the minimum. I think the minimum's got to be about 13k to get rid of him. Is that right? Yeah, so 13k, you've got Ruben Diaz, and then you've got Bernardo Silva. Of course, Ruben Diaz has a special card, so he's a little bit more spenny at the minute. We can, of course, go Portugal, Premier League, and Special as well. That's going to leave us with a few cards. We've got Ruben Diaz there for a start. We've got Bruno Fernandes as inform. And then, of course, I think Bruno's got another card as well. He's got the one on the road to the knockout. So let's just have a look at what we're going to be looking like on a snipe for these bad boys. EA tax is going to be 110, about 5.5k. Is that right? Yeah, that is right. I'm not completely wrong. So 110 there, scroll along. We could do a little bit of compare price at the end here. We'd realistically be looking for a 100 would get us about 4.5k profit, which isn't great, but it's also not bad. So we could definitely work off of that. You've obviously got a few opportunities of different players. Obviously Bruno's 2 cards, Ruben Diaz as well, and I do think Diaz, although very good in game, is probably one where people will maybe mislist him a bit or just try and get him sold off quickly. I think that's more where you're going to get the big snipes, is when people are just trying to sack them off as fast as possible. So you've definitely got some room for some very, very big profits there. Now what we're also going to do is we're going to head over to the Saudi League. We're going to go for the specials over there, and let's have a look. Where is the league? I always lose the Saudi League. Specials. Of course, we've got a couple options there. You obviously got the 2 heroes. We've got the likes of Talisca. We've got Henderson. So on the lower end, you do have a couple decent options. If we go for midfielder, obviously Al-Dasari, he is cheap, but he is obviously in there. We've got Milinkovic-Savic, who I got in the inform pick the other day, which I was quite happy with. I feel like an 87 inform isn't bad, especially when there will be requirements for informs and SBCs. Now, it looks like these boys on the bottom are ruining the pricing for this one, but if we put Playstyle Plus only, we are left with Kante, we're left with Al-Jabbar. So Kante and Al-Jabbar's a nice one. Obviously, Ronaldo's probably not going to come up. I believe we should also have Al-Aweem, but I'm not sure if he has a playstyle, so I haven't actually. Maybe he doesn't. Interesting. So we're just looking at Al-Jabbar. I think he's around 60k. Obviously, being that Ronaldo just came out, a few of the heroes from that league are probably going to go up along with most of the specials. So at 47, EA tax is going to be, we'll do it at 48, is 2.4. So you probably want to get these. I'd say 42 would be a nice mark to be picking these up. Obviously, you can do a little bit of a snipe with them. You can do a little bit of compare price, whichever way is going to work for you the most. Obviously, they're coming up. They're not coming up for the price we want, but you can see they are being listed. So it shows they are getting packed. People are going to put them up, and someone is going to make that mistake. So you can make an absolute ton of coins. Now, if you are new around here, guys, I'm sorry this video has been a bit rushed. I've got some personal stuff going on. Haven't had the chance to really spend a bit of time on it. So I thought I'd get you a load of filters at once rather than a few, but also I understand the video has been a little bit more rushed than usual, so I hope you guys understand that. I hope you appreciate it, and if you're new around here, I hope you've seen enough to subscribe, and if you haven't, you might as well subscribe for the free chance of FIFA points. So I appreciate, as always, the views. I appreciate all the subs, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.